Okay, looks like we're live. All right, guys, you know the deal. We're going to give it a few minutes, get all set up over here. Let's see. Let's get the chat out. Let's get the chat out. All right. All right, just getting set up right now. If you're here, let me know inside the chat. Let me know inside the chat. Okay. All right, I'm checking on my phone. I see somebody. Dave, then of course, Dave. What is going on? Happy New Year's, man. In fact, Happy New Year's, everyone. I'm so excited to kick off this year with the first one. We got to get this going right off the way. I want to get a quick start to launching our live streams as well as some new content. But yeah, this is the first one of the year. Let's get this thing cracking. All right, Plurat. I hope I say that right. Plurat, I think I got it right. Happy New Year's. Happy New Year's. How are you all doing? All right. The Rosa, what is up, man? What is going on? Amira from Australia, Hellstech. Awesome. This is so cool. I'm so glad to see you all. I hope everybody had a really good holiday, a really good New Year's. I hope you all had like a chance to take a break, enjoy the family, friends, put the clients on hold for a little bit. That way you can enjoy, this time of the year. Also, get a good time for reflection, thinking back, getting set up and prepared, getting that energy and focus for going into this new year's. Hope you all had a really, really good one. So let's start this off. I want to ask you all the question. Is anybody here planning something big for 2024? Are you doing something different this year as far as your web business? All right, we're looking at the web business right now. Is anybody got something in the works that they want to do differently or add on this year for your web business? So let us know inside the chat. We'd love to see what everybody's focuses and ideas and goals and things like that are. That way, too, we all could get a bit motivated off of each other. To La Rosa, not already two clients. It's only been like 2-3 days of the new year and already starting off with two clients. Man, if you keep this up at this rate, you'll have like 320 new ones by the end of the year. Nah, man, it's awesome, dude. That's awesome. That's a big win, man. Really big win. And what a way to start off. There's no better way to kick things off, than to start off with even a small win. The big wins are really good, but even a small win, because those boost confidence. And we want to get that esteem and confidence and get that drive going from the very, very beginning. All right. Nice one, La Rosa. All right, SEO, definitely. Shameless plug. It's all good. It's all good. So I do have a few predictions. So I've been, truth is, all right, I've been floored for the last 2 weeks. I caught COVID seriously, seriously bad. I didn't even tell anybody. I just have been in bed, just floored. And I've been able to put together like a few hours a day. I've been really having to manage my time these last couple of weeks, because I do, have these things that I want to do. But yeah, I was out with COVID, and this gave me a lot of time to while I'm going through the whole thinking, reflection process of everything, and also looking at our industry. I'm looking at not just like us web designers aside WordPress. I'm looking, as far as like developers inside other industries. I'm looking at brand strategists, at copywriters, at SEO specialists, marketers, our industry, our creative industry that's online, trying to see, where are things going? Because the crazy thing is when you step back and you think about where were we at 3 years ago, 4 years ago? It wasn't so long. We're all on theme forest, buying the same things and using WP Bakery, and think about how quickly things have evolved in that time. And they're just getting quicker and they're going to get quicker. And so, I really want to look at the direction. I want to make sure stay moving forward. The last thing I want to be is an old dinosaur that is grumpy and bitter because nobody's doing it the way I'm doing it, and I'm stuck in the old way. I've seen it. I've seen it. I'm sure you all have seen it. Just go into a Facebook community. You will see old, we can get jaded, and it's just, it happens when we get complacent and stuck in our old ways. And in our industry, we can't afford that. I really, really believe that. Thanks, La Rosa. I am, man. I am. Dude, it was a rough one. It was crazy. It really was. It was worse than the first one that I got. It's a slow progression to get back, and that's the reason why we're doing this right now, man. I really want to do this because I want to build some momentum as well, and I want to do it with all of you. Okay, let's see. I want to catch up on the chats. Nicholas, what's going on, man? So good to see you always. All right. Nicholas, I would really love to hear your predictions for Elementor this year because I got one. But I would love to hear yours. And keep this in mind, all right? I'm going to share with you some of my predictions. If 10% of my predictions come true, I'll be as, forward thinking as Nostradamus. So they're just predictions. Take it as that, just thoughts, but still it's good for us to put those together, and to think about that. And Dave, hey man, that's one of my big ones, Dave. GSAP. I really believe that's actually one of my big ones. And we're going to get into that, but you hit that. I really feel that things are evolving fast and they're going to continue. And now it's going to be our turn to be taking things to another level. All right, let me catch up here. I want to make sure like we got the chat up to date. Nice. La Rosa, one thing I know about you, you have a really strong focus. You have, your niche very defined. If anybody wants to know about, having a niche and being really focused inside a very specific market, La Rosa is a great person to pick his brain to learn from them. I'm always I tried niching down myself, but it didn't work for me. But I also realized why it didn't work for me is because I didn't do it right. So when I see some people that do it right, they niche down, they get a very specific market, a very specific offering. When they do it right, they really, really excel. I mean, it's a way to get really successful. La Rosa, you have always done a good job at that, man. I've always been impressed by it. All right, Amira. So you bring up a really good point. A lot of, let me see. All right, change the approach due to so many changes for small businesses in modern times. Yeah, it is a bit overwhelming right now. It is, if we're especially looking at small businesses right now and building websites for small businesses. We have right now inflation that is just going crazy. A lot of people are being tighter with their money. We have no idea, you know, what's going to happen next with the economy. Is it going to hold together? Are we going to like go into a state where people are even holding on even more? So, small businesses, it's like if we rely on small businesses, that could be a scary place to be at. That's the reason why. Okay, you know what? Let me just catch up on this, and I want to just jump right into it. Herman, Happy New Year's, man! Happy New Year's. Somnia, please. Sonia, okay, I'm trying to get names right. Please create a tutorial on landing pages for digital products and selling courses. Oh man, thank you for sure, for sure. I do want to do a whole lot more design, so I do have plans for this year. I'm going to share all of them with you. I got some plans coming up on that, but it's in line with that. Awesome. I love hearing this. Nicholas, Happy New Year's. Happy New Year's. Jackson, what is going on? Jackson, Happy New Year's. So good to see you here, man. All right, let me see. Nicholas, yes, it will. We're going to have this live is going to stay up because we got some stuff in here that I feel is really going to help out anybody, coming along, trying to get an idea of, what to look for inside this year. Uh Truth is, I haven't been so good at predicting ahead of time, and that's because of my life's background. My life's background has always been in the moment. I really couldn't picture too far in the future, and that was because I just couldn't picture my own life in the future. But that has changed. That's changed these last several years. I've learned, first thing I learned is I'm going to be around for a while, God willing. For things. I do have a future. So that changed, and that's a personal thing for me. But by doing that and by building a business and going through years and years of learning how to build a business and just like putting everything I have into it, I study people. I study people that have been doing this for a long time and that are doing really good. And one thing I see that a lot of them have in common is they're able to predict or at least see trends and and see them and also being able to react to them early instead of like reacting to something that already happened. I shouldn't even say reacting. Reacting is more of an action to something that has just happened. It's more of a process of preparing and moving the way that you see trends go. So I've been getting better at it where in the past I was not good. I feel now though I am at a far better place. And right now I do see things happening inside of our industry, especially with AI coming. All right, cool. I had to keep going back to the chats. I want to make sure you don't miss anything. But let's go ahead and jump into it. So I do have a few predictions that I want to start off with. Uh, and one of them is what LaRosa mentioned, offering a new service. So I do feel that, and I'm also going back to where somebody mentioned, the challenges of small businesses right now, working with small businesses. Small businesses are going to be struggling most likely with, recessions, economy, with, we don't know where things are really going to go. Inflation is insane, and people are really tight with their money. I do find that people are more tight with their money. And if you get a small business, they're going to probably clench onto it a bit more. I find that it is more, lucrative running a business when we are working with clients, not clients with just big budgets, but clients that are in it for the long run. It's a bit of a different. I don't look at it like a client anymore as like, oh, do you have 20,000 for a website? Are you a big client that could pay 20, 30 for a website? I'm looking at more like, how is this year going to look like with this client? Like maybe the website will only be like, 5, 6, 7, 8K. But what else could we do? So first, we already got maintenance plans. That's already dialed in. And I think that's a really easy upsell. Like I really feel 90% of clients should be jumping on maintenance plans if we're doing them right. But then there are other things our clients need. So our clients, they need branding, they need social media, they need SEO, they need marketing, they need these other things. So if we're just sticking to just building, and like, first off, and this is a bit conflicting because I do feel that, it's best to niche down in a way, but I also think that we got to look at our own business. How are we going to grow? How are we going to flourish? And if we could add at least one thing else, if we could add something that's going to be lucrative to us, it's going to help us through these times and we're going to be able to grow. So I do see that as a prediction that those of us are going to flourish are going to be the ones who do expand and start to add on a new service, especially if that service is lucrative, especially if they could build it on. Now, I have a goal this year. Last couple of years, I started going in on SEO. Last year, I just went all in. And this year, my goal is I just want to get 5 more clients. I already got one. So now I just need 4 more to go on my plan. I would probably look at doing more, except that I spend a lot of my time on YouTube creating content. And this really is my number one priority. So I want to keep that minimal. But if we look at it, all right, think about it, 5 clients in 1 year on an SEO plan. And let's say the bare minimum, which is like $1,000 a month, like that is very, very low. That's like the low end right there. And like the higher end is like 2,500 a month. But let's say on the low end, that five after expenses and overhead, we're looking at a very significant, profit for the year. So let me see. Anybody following along? I don't want to just ramble on right now. Anybody here offering a new service? Thinking about offering a new service? I know La Rosa mentioned he's thinking about offering SEO. Anybody else here? All right, it's a bit hot in my room. I'm gonna have to turn the fan on. Hope it doesn't get too loud. It's Thailand. Even in the winter in Thailand, it gets a bit warm over here. All right. So prediction number one, we'll need to add more services, to keep up and to make sure that we're staying ahead and building our business and that our business is growing. Now, I would not advise anybody to go from just building websites to trying to offer everything underneath the digital marketing sun. I wouldn't try to do everything at once. My philosophy has always been master one thing at a time. Get really good at it. That way you could do it right. You could add value. And then once you get really good at it, move on to the next and keep stacking those. And that is how I grew. That's how I got to where I'm at. I was lucky to have a mentor at the very beginning teach me that. And for some reason, that stuck with me. Master one thing at a time. Once you get good, then bring something else in. That's when you take on the next skill. By doing that, you're going to start to add, high value to what you do. So let's see here. All right, Amira says, been asked for copywriting more than ever. And the crazy thing is, you would think like with ChatGPT that, oh my God, copywriting is dead. Thing is, it isn't. It isn't. It's not going to be. Not until ChatGPT becomes a human. But for right now, like we still need good copy. I just hired a copywriter, just yesterday because I, see the value in it. So that's a really good one, Amira. Like, I feel that is one of those ones that we have the tools now where we don't have to be expert writers. But if we're building websites for clients, and we've been doing it for some time, we're studying it. We know how layouts are. We know how users interact with sites. We know what good UX is. We know what bad UI is. We know how users behave on the website. We have this advantage that makes us, as the ones that could put copy together more strategically, have a whole lot more value. And then we got the tools to help us with the words. So that's awesome. That's a good one to add. And then think about it too, like how many times are clients, I always, oh my God, my chat is doing, the app is doing something weird. All right. One of the biggest problems that I remember I had my first few years was trying to get content from clients, trying to get images from clients. That used to be one of my biggest problems until I just started writing it and then charging for it or just writing in filler, because after we do it for a while, we could just start writing it. Like, I really feel that is a problem that, after we get some experience, we shouldn't have. But back to like adding the new services as well. So my thing is doing something funky. I wish I could show you guys a screen share. Like your chat is going. Maybe Chat GPT heard me. Was like, nah, dude. Let me do something funky here. All right. Alexis, what's up, man? All the way from Chile, man. That's so dope. I'm trying to go down, but yeah, my chats are all messed up. Okay. All right, Dave has been working on accessibility. Accessibility is hot right now. Think about offering that as an additional service. You get a project. It's like, okay, we could build a 5-page website, 10-page, 20-page, whatever it is. Starting price would be this, but we could also add in, fully accessible where we do all the extras and make sure that you are fully optimized for accessibility. You don't have to rely on any of those super expensive plugins that really just mess up your site. That is a great skill to have, and it's a high value point. As we're working on these new skills, all we're doing is adding more value to what we do. The thing is, we have to keep doing this stuff. We have to keep learning more in order to add more value. That's how we grow inside this business. That's how we earn more. But by strategically also choosing what we are going to learn and offer our clients, it could make a significant difference on what we earn. Yep. Hey, La Rosa, I am 100% with you. So La Rosa says that, one of the biggest things he's learned is AI will never replace us because they can't replace the human touch. AI is for us creatives to use as our tools. And this is where our industry is shifting. And look at truth is, look at I've been using Reloom. I don't know if you guys seen Reloom yet, but with Reloom, I'm able to create like a very high fidelity wireframe, sitemap, user flow, all within about 30 minutes. I could complete it. That used to take me a full 1 to 2 days to do, and I charge clients for it. But now I'm able to do the same thing. But here is why Reloom alone can't replace us is because after years of building websites for clients, studying heat maps, conversion rate optimizations, all that stuff, I know the flow of a website could go very quickly and I could see if a flow was good or not. So I already spent all those years, and I'm sure you have as well, to learning the structure of a website. And we know the flow and how users are going to interact. Now we could use a tool like Reloom, which is basically going to just create you that high fidelity mock-up within seconds or minutes. But realistically, it's the thought process and the strategy and our experience in using that tool and saving like a whole day or two of work. So yes, man, I'm totally with you on it. All right, so Sonia asks, according to okay, what skills an individual should master to make more profits for the clients? That's a really good question. That's a really, really good one. One thing every client needs is marketing. Every business needs marketing. A business cannot thrive without marketing. Now, marketing is a huge umbrella. So you can look at a couple different areas of your marketing, and it all depends on your client type as well. So we have, like I decided to go in on SEO because that form of marketing is needed for every single website. Also, I was tired of seeing our clients go to other agencies. Those other agencies were charging them more for SEO than we were for websites, and they weren't giving them any love. Sometimes, they got some results. Sometimes they got taken advantage of and got nothing. And it just got really painful, like seeing our clients go somewhere else. And the thing is that I didn't want that to happen anymore. I didn't, like I put in all that work with a client. We build that relationship. We work on their website, put in, all that love and care, thought, strategy, and everything in order for their website to thrive. And then they go off to a marketing company and they're pretty much reaping all the rewards because when they're working with that marketing company, they are, probably paying one, two, three, five plus $1,000 a month. So that is a kind of, like you asked, make more profits for clients. Marketing is going to make profits for clients, but by you doing the right one, you're going to make a lot more for yourself. So it's got to be that win-win. All right. Any other questions? Now I know I kind of went off on that, and you guys gonna have to excuse me. I'm still getting over the vid. Like I'm still I'm still feeling it, but I didn't want that to stop this. I want to hit 2024 rolling full speed. All right. before I go to my next prediction, I do want to give a plug. I should do that. I'm not good at plugging myself, but I've done something that I've been planning to do all year, and I launched the SEO course for WordPress. I launched it just 2 days ago, and actually yesterday was the official pre-sale. And I have to be honest, guys, I was really surprised how well received. I mean, I knew it was going to do well. Like, I knew this is something needed for us web creators. I needed it. Like, I took so many free courses. I took the free ones on YouTube, the free ones on, SEMrush, on, Neil, all of them. Like, I took paid courses as well, but still, I was getting stuck. I still was overwhelmed. It was still complex. So when it came time, I onboarded my first client for SEO, it was scary. And I I actually tried, like, I had opportunities to onboard more and I backed out of them because I just didn't feel confident or ready yet. The thing is, I found I need to have systems, I need to have processes, I got to have step by steps, I got to have something that is going to make the whole process like realistic, in a way that I know that I could execute this. Like, I could do this. If I just do A, B, and C, I am completing this, I'm executing it, and I'm giving the clients the value, I'm delivering. See, that was my worry. I didn't want to just take money from clients and not deliver. That scares the heck out of me. I don't want to be that guy. I would lose so much sleep over it. But then I developed the step by steps, the systems, and all that. And so this whole last year, I've been packaging, I've been putting it together, I've been strategist. How can I do this? How can I teach this and give this that others could use and not go through what I went through when I tried taking courses? So with that, got to plug it out there. But I just want to also give a chance because right now we got the pre-sale. There's only 100 that we're doing on the pre-sale, only 100 seats. I have to limit it because, I really dropped the price down. And in the first day, like half of them are already gone. So real quick, I'm gonna do a shameless plug. I hope you guys don't mind or unfollow. Just got to keep it real. Don't want to see the back end there. But this is it right here. I'll share the link. So it's the SEO for WordPress course. Now, the whole goal for this is having step-by-step systems. And there are three different objectives. There are three different results that this is aimed for. So the first one right here, this is for anybody who is at the earlier stages of building WordPress websites. Now, if you're like me, then probably your first several websites have no SEO best practices done. And here's the thing, when you don't know those best practices on SEO, we could actually cause a whole lot of harm to the websites. Now, hopefully when you're new like I was and you're building websites for clients, you're building them for smaller businesses that, they're not paying that much money and, they're not that high risk. But once you start getting good clients with, serious businesses, if we take on their websites and we build them, and if we don't do things right as far as SEO, well, we could cause harm. And if we do know all the best practices, how to do it right and how to set them up right, that is a huge value proposition as well. So that's what this one does. And it's also for anybody who's building their own website, anybody who just, has their own business, but likes to build their own website for themselves. Then we got the next step right here. And this is for when we actually want to get competitive, when we want to take on the client, or if we're going to do it for ourselves, where we want to be able to rank keywords and we want to build backlinks and we want to build our local SEO and we want to have, the right tools and all that. So this is all step by step. And then the final one, this is for the freelancers and agency owners. This is for when you're ready to start offering SEO to clients right here. This right here, I feel is like the biggest gem because you get this. I said, all you need is like 5 clients on your plan. And your plan should be anywhere between 1,000 to 2,500 a month starting off. And if you have 5 clients, that's like 60 to over 100K a year. Like This is and when you start doing the numbers, it's pretty crazy. So this is where, yeah, this is my focus right here. This is going to be my baby for a while. So right now, we got about 50 seats left. So yeah, I'll go ahead and put a link in. That's it for the shameless plug. Let me go back over here, drop the link, hide this from the stream. Uh-oh, are we still live? I can't. Okay. Oh, okay. Thought there was a bug in here. It's just the UI. Okay, I'm not sure if that link went there. You could go to my website, though, the Lightbox Academy site, and look for the SEO course right there. If you got questions, go ahead and drop it in here. All right, let me catch up. The Rosa, yeah, still, I know, man. I know. Honestly, like, look at the keeper real. I was considering selling this at about 5, 6, 700, and I might. Like, I probably might. Like, we're gonna start it off at 300 when it's fully live in February. Right now, it's just a pre-sale, and that's why I'm only doing 100. But yeah, it's probably gonna go up there. It's because of the stuff that's coming with it, everything that's coming with it. But I first want to, get it rolling and make sure. There's a spelling mistake. Where's the spelling mistake at? Okay, it was too small right there to read. I had to put up on the screen to read. Lightbox in the container. Meet your teacher agency. Okay, cool. Thank you. Thank you. I'll go ahead and fix that up. Awesome. Well, actually, I got a copywriter right now helping me out with this. Like, I decided to hire a copywriter to help clean it up. Look, here's the thing. Whenever I build my own websites, try to design for myself, can you guys relate? It's the hardest thing to do. Like I go through that. La Rosa said he was ready to spend 2 to 3 times more. It's all good. It's all good, man. It's not even about that, man. For me, it's gonna be all about the results. I just want to see it work for sure. Check the comment section and circle, add a comment to your. Okay, who is this? Who is Rounded Hexagon? You must be one of our pro members because because yeah, you saw our post inside our pro academy. Let's connect. Send me a DM, Samia, for sure. This is how we do it. Everybody I work with, I connected with this way. All right. I don't go through Upwork or Fiverr or something like that. I don't want to. I would much rather network and connect with people here. So just like team members, Lightbox, people on Lightbox, we met through our communities. We didn't meet through, Fiverr or Upwork or anything. So yeah, hit me up. Anybody can hit me up. It is all good. I'm happy to connect with everyone. All right, just making sure. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. All right. Antonio, thank you, man. Thank you. I feel okay. I'll be all right. All right, Catherine, very good question. Okay, I'm catching up on all the comments. This is a really, really good question. Wow. Do I feel that the web design industry has gone stagnant? Absolutely. I feel that it really has for WordPress. I feel that in WordPress, we have gone stagnant and complacent inside a certain space. And I'm going to follow this up with Amira because Amira has asked has mentioned something. She's considering moving away from Elementor, because of spending so much time in WordPress and moving to Webflow. So hold on, I gotta take a sip of my tea because this is actually kind of like segueing into one of my next predictions. I absolutely feel that we got stagnant. I think I got stagnant. I'm actually getting bored. I don't know. Can anybody else also feel like they're getting bored? Like My focus for a while was making everything clean. I'm a minimalist and I like clean layout. I love things to be consistent. I love them to be just, the geometry of it to just be, perfect. And that's what I've always taught. And that really is like flat design. Flat design, being able just to have the blocks and everything clean, like that has been the main focus inside the web design industry, especially when it comes to WordPress. And don't get me wrong, flat design I think is really important for anybody new starting off, like in their first couple of years. Like I feel that a web designer or a web creator should master flat design first before starting to move on, because when you master that, you're going to master design, web design. You got to master the fundamentals of it. You got to know your typography. And typography is one of the more complex areas of web design. You have to understand that. You got to be able to see it. You got to understand layouts and grids. And there's so much to it. But once you got those fundamentals down, it's time to move on to the next step. And that is my prediction. That's another one of my predictions, is that I really feel that now web creators, those of us who have some seasoning behind us, some experience, are going to start taking things to the next level. And we've been seeing that inside like Webflow and now inside Framer. If you look at those websites, they're big, they're, dark, they're, shiny. They got a lot of things happening. There's a lot of extra stuff going on. And I don't know about you, but when I saw like Webflow websites a couple of years ago, I felt like that was just way out of my skill level. I feel like whoever coded that probably, like that's crazy coding. Like I'm not that great at JavaScript. Like that's not my strong suit. I'm great at design on UI and then at CSS, but like doing that kind of JavaScript and creating those interactive sites. And I think a lot of people shoot down sites on awards because they feel they're not accessible or realistic. But I also feel that, part of that is that these are way out of so many people's skill levels as well. That's changing though, because we have newer tools that allow us to start down that path, to start building, sites that are just beyond our flat basic layouts, where we can start creating these interactive sites. And really quick, I want to share a couple things. I want to show you where my time is being spent right now, because I do have plans myself. Now, one of them has been in spline. I've been learning spline lately. I've been taking courses on it, playing with it. I've been wrapping my head around this because spline, this is crazy powerful. Like, you could create a 3D interactive item, and it's not as complicated as you think. Now, it does take some investment into learning, into studying, and to like getting it down. But that's just web development. That's web design. That's why we have to keep learning. But check this out. You could add something to your website. You could completely embed it. There's a lot that you could do with it. And not only could we make something like this, like just animate, but we can make this move. We can make this track. Like we could really have a whole lot of control on how this interacts as the user interacts with the web. And then another one is going to be GSAP. And by the way, their new website is crazy dope. But like now we got this as well. And this is this just gives us an example of what we could do. How could we make things stand out? Look at how they just make the content stand out on their own right here with these interactions and these animations. Now, I know side scrolling, I've always avoided it because it isn't the best for UI. But at the same time, I really feel that, to go back to answer the question, I feel that we got stagnant by resisting adding this when it comes to the right situation. There are a lot of right situations where even for a clean, minimalistic layout, we could do something minimalistic, adding this that just gives it some more flair that really makes it stand out. Plus, for me, like I need to do something that's not boring. I need to start having fun. So that's why I'm getting into spline. I'm studying this. I'm taking classes on this right now. And I plan on using this inside projects in the future. Thing is, I want to start creating websites in WordPress that are on the level of Webflow, and okay, this doesn't really show too much, but Webflow and Framer right now, they've been crushing it. And I feel like it's because the people using it aren't scared, to go out that boundary of just like a flat, clean layout, to do more. Check out this site right here. I bookmark one right here. This site is super dope right here. Now, whether you're into dark mode or not, like this could easily be light mode, but look how this, just how it all interacts right here. So like that's where I got the idea for one of my last videos, like, being able to use this type of thing right here. But like each one of these, are like fun interactions that could be done. Like this is something I could probably do inside Spline right here. And look at this, to me, this is where I want to be at. I want to start having fun doing some crazy stuff like this, some fun stuff. All right. So that is my other prediction. Let me go ahead and exit out of the screen share and get some tea. Yeah, a good place to connect is hit me up on Instagram right now. It's a good place. Facebook, or just send me a message at the lightboxacademy.com website. That's a good place to connect with me. Yeah, La Rosa says you need to choose those core 4 to 5 fonts. Yeah, you need a stack for sure. It really helps out to have a stack for the fonts. All right, another good question. Somnia asks, how to make your first client trust your skill. If it's your first client, it's going to take time. It's going to take time. Now, if you've had a lot of clients and you've been doing this for a while, that's different. So if it's your first client, this is for anybody new. All right. For anybody new getting their first clients, you have to look at your first year, maybe even two, as just learning and gaining experience. It has to be about that. You might have to get a second job to be able to pay the bills and pay the rent. I lived off of noodles for my first 2 years. No, my first year. My second year, things got a lot better. Excuse me. But that first year and your first clients, you got to get some experience. Uh, I heard one of the definitions on what makes an expert is somebody who knows how to ask the right questions. So the more that you are building these skills, not just your skills in building websites, but your skills in managing clients and talking to clients and all those soft skills that comes with it, you're going to be able to start to ask the right questions. This is the reason why I'm so big on creatives having phone calls with clients, having Zoom calls, but never do anything by email. And even if you're brand new and you're terrified, it's more important than to get on that, because you got to start getting that experience and practicing. Because what's going to happen is you're first, for a very long time, you're going to be asking just like questions, like, ridiculous questions. You're not going to know what to ask, but you just keep asking them. And then the next client comes along and you start to ask better questions. And then the next client comes along. And then before you know it, all of a sudden you get new leads that come in. You can already start seeing things and you know how to probe, how to ask the right questions. And when you can start to ask the client the right questions, they see it and they know they're talking to an expert. So that is what I feel is how you get a client to trust you. All right. Anybody still here? I never know if somebody is here. I can never really tell. All right, but I do got one last do I have something written over here. I do got one. more prediction. All right. And this one is going to be a little, might be a bit controversial. It shouldn't be. And please don't take this as any way of being negative or, throwing shade on Elementor. But my prediction is I feel Elementor is going to become the Wix of WordPress. All right. I was like debating, should I even talk about this? And look, at the thing is, it's not a bad thing. It's actually a smart move on their part. Elementors they come a long ways, as far as what they do. Like they made huge improvements to their builder in the last year, into like just 2 years ago to today. What is on there, like legit, I could build Elementor websites without any additional plugins now, versus 3, 4 years ago when I started with Elementor, you needed to have add-ons or I had to do a lot of custom coding. Now, a little bit of custom coding for those special effects, but for as far as being able to build a site, you don't need add-ons anymore. Like they're just not needed. The thing is, Elementor has become a big company. They're a big company. And I see this happens with big companies. Big companies got shareholders, they got other priorities. And it makes more sense to Elementor, I feel, market towards a specific demographic that isn't really necessarily us freelancers and agencies anymore. I just don't feel that we have been, like, I don't feel the freelancer agency or anybody who builds websites for clients has been the top priority. It's been the do-it-yourselfers, it's been the brand new web creators, and that's okay. Like that's all right. But things are evolving inside WordPress right now, where we have other tools like Bricks, which has just crazy matured, and we're seeing a lot of people, going inside that direction, and for a good reason. We have, just Gutenberg in general. I mean, it's gained a lot of traction, with the add-ons like generate blocks and stuff like that have made that a good choice. We have breakdance as well. So I feel like there's competition out there, but the other competition, they're focusing on freelancers, developers. And because of that, I see a lot of shift this year, for us Elementor users. I don't know, man. Is that anybody else feeling that way, or anybody else have any other insight? So I wanted to ask Nicholas. Now, again, this is no shade at all on Elementor. I still rock my Elementor mug. I got no beef at all. We just evolve, we grow. Everybody does, and that's the best part about what we do. I think if I were to use the same tool for 10 years, I wouldn't want to do this anymore. I would get so bored. I would get crazy bored. I got to keep changing and growing. Now, it's really important not to just change just to change. Like when I started my business, all right, when I started doing this and I was a brand new, I was like, I'm going to build websites and that's going to be my business. When I was at that early day and made the decision, I did this with a buddy. And a buddy of mine out here in Thailand, he said the same thing. I'm going to do this. I stuck with it. I learned HTML, I learned CSS, and I grinded away. But 3 or 4 months later, he was off to doing drop shipping. 3, 4, 5, 6 months later, he was off on something else. The market, bouncing around, just moving around. 2 years went by, and my buddy was still bouncing around. I owned an agency. I had team members. I had high level clients. I was making really good income, like more, like I was doing pretty well. So I really believe that that it's important not to just switch and just to keep switching for every new tool that comes out. You got to do it very strategically, master one thing, and then start to learn something else. And right now, if you've already mastered Elementor, you've already mastered this part of building websites, now you got some other options to start bringing in that you could add more value and you could do a bit more. All right. I know that was a lot, and I really debated if I was going to bring it up, but I think, we got to keep it real. Yeah, La Rosa, yeah, La Rosa's talking about, already ready to switch. And it's all good. See, here's the thing, Elementor's still good for what it does, you know, but if you were to add on something like bricks, you're just going to have a whole lot more value. And right now, what you could do, especially if you want, like, say, those sites I was showing, like looking at using GSAP, looking at using Spline, looking at the interactions and stuff like that, definitely I feel like going to a more professional tool is going to be the way to go. Sonia asked how to map. What time is it about? Okay, it's been 50 minutes. All right. That's why I'm starting to lose my voice. I'm gonna keep this video up, guys. I'm gonna keep it up. Because I hope it helps out. Even though, even though I might be rambling a little bit on, I'll do it. Hey, just a heads up, I do put my foot in my mouth. And you know what? I think going forward, I'm going to be bringing guests on. I really feel having guests here is going to help out because it's a bit weird just talking to yourself. I mean, I know you guys are here, but it does feel weird, just to keep it real. All right. So Sonia asked how to master a skill of asking questions. And there's a simple answer. Every single client that you get, have a call, talk to them, ask the questions. Every time you get a call, and I still do this to this day, doesn't even matter if it's a small call or a big one. I plan out my questions, I plan out the structure. So start off that way. You get a new client, you get a new lead. Somebody reaches out. Hey, I want to get a website. Okay, let's have a quick 20, 30-minute call, see if we're a good fit. And then prepare. Think of the questions you want to ask and write them down. Make sure you come to that like ready. So, and then just keep doing it. You keep doing it, you're going to get better and better and better. And then before you know it, eventually you're going to get good. And when you start getting good, you start building that confidence, you start knowing more of how to ask. I mean, the only way to become an expert is to do it. You got to keep doing it. It takes time, it takes commitment, it takes dedication. It takes walking through a whole lot of uncomfortability. If you're not comfortable talking and asking clients questions of clients, you got to walk through that and you got to overcome it. All right, we got a couple other thoughts that came in. All right. Yeah, La Rosa says if you jump into bricks, get that before the price goes up in a week or two. For sure, for sure. Bricks LTD is about to end, but man, I've been loving it. I've been super happy with it. And Amir says, running into issues with Elementor daily. You know, I had to stop using plugins like add-ons for Elementor for that reason. I found that, like in the early days, like 3, 4 years ago, like that was actually the draw to it. That was the thing I liked about it was that we had all these different add-ons. We could do creative stuff and I could just pick these widgets and do something creative. And now that's actually turned into like its crutch. I feel like it's a thing holding Elementor back. Now, I do have a video coming up. I have something planned. It's my Elementor wish list. All right. I got a wish list of things that I know and I feel would make Elementor super, super dope and take it right back up. So I got that coming up. I'll try to get that recorded and out as soon as possible. But definitely a big part of it is, yeah, if they could get over that crutch, like that legacy code and too busy supporting all these add-ons, like I don't know, like should they be supporting the add-ons or should the add-ons be, doing their job and staying up to date? And I know the conflict, that they're in. They make big changes to their core code, then all these websites break, but it's, yeah, I mean, that's a whole other discussion for sure. But I feel like look at they just got big, and whenever you see a business get too big, it you know, I don't know. I guess it's just me too. I like to root for the little guys. That's always been my personality, my nature. Like I'd rather be with RunCloud than GoDaddy. I'd rather be with SEO Press Pro than Yoast. I like the little guys that are creating awesome stuff versus the big giants that did something awesome, but turned into a big company. Like Apple. I got a love-hate relationship with Apple. All right, so Rounded Hexagon. Who are you? I know you're a pro member. You can send me a message. Let me see. Did you send me a message? I just want to know who I'm talking to. No, no message. All right. Okay, so full site editing is extremely boring and ideal for basic stuff. I know, man. It's down to the blocks, and it's something that we mentioned earlier. I mean, nothing against it. I think it all depends on who you're building websites for and what kind of workflow that you like. But I think, like, yeah, if you want to start taking things to another level, competing with like Webflow, like style of websites, well, you do need something flexible, more flexible than Block Builder. Yeah, Rosa. Yeah. So biggest issue with the plugins and add-ons that require the creators to stay on top of the changes. That has always been the really big problem. That's what turned into the big one. It was okay several years ago, but now there's that worry that if Elementor say they clean up all that legacy code, they switch things up big time inside the back end, they really change it. Like a lot of sites out there are going to break. Like all those add-ons that are on sites, they're just not going to be able to keep up with it. I mean, that's why it took containers so long. Containers was ready to go for like well over, God, almost what, like it was in beta for 2 years or something. Well over a year it was ready to go, but they had to wait, because there's that worry of the add-ons, but then there's always also the worry of the non-developers building websites for Elementor. And look at, I want to kind of go back to something. So I did throw something out there. I did throw out there, that my prediction is Elementor's going to be in the direction as Wix. And the reason why I see that and I feel that way is because of the major decisions made. I feel that a lot of the core decisions, the big ones, like the new pricing that they made, the Elementor cloud hosting and the way the hosting is done, everything down to the way the onboarding is done. It's all done to maximize profits, but also done, to serve the new people, to serve the non-developers, somebody brand new, the do-it-yourselfers. And those are the ones in the market of Wix and Squarespace. It's not those of us who are seasoned WordPress developers and designers that have been doing this for a while. Like we wouldn't jump into Wix, if we really knew how to do HTML, CSS, we understood things, like we had our experience, we know how to crush it, killing really good sites, working with good clients. And also just that decision of containers to take so long to push it out because of the worry that so many non-developers would flip out. You know, I mean, it's those decisions that are thinking about them first before those of us who are building websites for clients. And look at, not knocking Elementor in any way. They got to do what they got to do. It's a business. But here's the thing. A business cannot have multiple demographics. Like either this is your target. I mean, I should backpedal on that one. A business should have one core focus of who their customer is. Now, some of them might be, fall in close to them. But there's got to be that one focus. It's just like if we take on a client, we want to know who is their primary customer. And then we want to build and speak and do everything for that primary customer. With Elementor, you got two primary customers. You got those who do this as a business, as a livelihood, and you got those that are doing this as a hobby or just wanting to learn or doing it for themselves. It's two different ones. And when you make a decision, you can't make one decision to serve both. You can only make those core decisions, and the core decisions have been to serve this one. I'm gonna leave it at that. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. Keep in mind, it is late. I'm still going through COVID. I still probably got a fever. You can hear me. I could barely breathe as well, So take that, please. Just keep that in mind. And like I said before, predictions. Yeah, okay. Oh, okay. Let me see. I gotta. Okay, cool, cool. I got you. I got you. It's okay. Cool. I was wondering who Rounded Hexagon is. Now I know. So I'm not, you got it. You got it. Hey, we're going to be doing this every single week, and I'm going to start bringing people on as well. That way we can have more in-depth conversations, get more perspective, and keeping the focus a little bit more online. When it's just me, it's just going to be all over the place. But it's also a good chance you can ask me anything, and sometimes we might just do some live stuff. Hey, I do have an idea. Let me know if you guys would like to see this. So I did purchase Breakdance. All right, I bought it. I haven't even added it on the site yet. I was planning on having a live stream, setting up Breakdance for the first time live with you guys, and then building bubble.io. All right, let me know if you guys would like to see that. We can set that up for next week's live stream. We'll do a Breakdance unboxing type of thing. Something I've been wanting to. I've been holding off on breakdance because I wanted to share that experience of starting off with you guys. I've heard a lot of good things about it, and I'm pretty sure it is good, but I want to explore it. There's some things I want to see inside of it. All right, La Rosa says the little guys are far more agile. Exactly. Yeah. You don't have 50 decision makers to run things by, especially, decision makers who aren't experienced inside this area. So, yeah. I mean, just look what Thomas has done. Like, it's crazy what he has done, you know. Ooh. Andrew, awesome, man. Happy New Year's, Andrew. I'm glad you're on board, man. So glad you're on board. Awesome. Andrea. Hey, Andrea. So good to see you. All right, let's do it. I think this is a good segue. All right, everyone, let's do it. All right. So, look, I want to crush it in 2024 with you guys. All right. That's the reason why we're starting off right away. All right. We're not going to waste time or to sit around. I really want to, but I want this to be a good year for all of us. And I really feel that with combined energy, like bringing the right energy from the people around us really makes a serious impact. I want to do that with you guys. Like, I'm also a realist and I want to keep it real as well. There are challenges, there's ups and downs, like that's just part of it. But we want to get through it. And this is a reason why I'm completely open. This is why I'm open about my past. I'm open about what I'm going through personally. I thought long and hard about it. At first I was going to keep a zip on what I went through inside my life, but I decided to open up because look at this is part of life. We're going to go through it, but I really believe that, that I really believe that things could happen that we never thought could happen. And I want to see that happen for us inside 2024. So let me know. All right. Let me know what you guys would like to see, what helps out. Here is what's coming. All right, cool. Here's what's coming. I'm going to leave you with this. All right. You saw my predictions. And somebody asked a very good question early on. Do I feel that, the web design space is getting basic, and yes, I feel I've gotten basic and I want to change that. All right. I'm going to change that. So what's going to come this year is I'm going to get a bit more advanced. I want to start doing a bit more creative. So things like, interactive design, interactive building and doing it all within WordPress. Like I'm staying inside WordPress. But think of like these crazy Webflow sites that you see. I want to do that inside WordPress. I also want to be focusing on clean code, accessibility, SEO, the web design business. I want to start focusing on these other areas that are a bit more where my passion is at versus more of like the simple tutorials. So you might not see as many simple tutorials from me coming out, but I will have like step-by-step tutorials, but I'll still break things down. For example, if we look at that website that we just saw, that whoop that had all those different things, like I would love to break down how to build each one of those in its own little segments and share that all with you. So that's what I plan to do. I'm studying GSAP right now. I want to master GSAP. I want to master Spline. I want to be able to use those inside, WordPress websites. You're going to see a lot more bricks coming from me. You'll see I still got my Elementor people out there. So, like I'm still going to be there for you guys as well. That is not going to change. So this is my mug I drink from every morning. So it's kind of hard to like give that up. It has served me very well. I build a really good agency with it. Oh, with that now, okay, let me just check this to see if there's any questions before we move on. All right. All right. All right, Mohit. I'm going to share your comment because I feel that your comment is going to resonate with a lot of people. And I know you're not alone. I know you're not alone with this at all. In fact, I've been there where you're at, and I know that feeling. Mohit shares that he feels bad and feels depressed, like don't have any skills or have very less resources how to get it started again. It's hard when we lose hope, when we lose that drive, when we lose when we lose that passion, you know. I've been on your side, but I've been on that side in a much more extreme way, beyond just web design. I know what it's like to sit down on a curve, not being able to see a way out and just giving up. I know that feeling. And I've been there where I was stuck for close to a decade of my life. You know, I remember driving, it was about a good 10 years ago. And I remember I was back in the US and, it wasn't, no, it was more than that. I forgot how long ago, but I remember, seeing a young man. I remember seeing him just like in front of a store, like a CVS sitting on the curb. And my first instinct was like, dude, you have so much you could be doing, man. Like, get up. That was my first thought. Like, come on, like there's so much. But after that second of that thought, I remember when that was me. And I remember when I was sitting down, I can't think forward. I couldn't see out of it. The thing about hope is it's powerful in two different ways. When you have hope and you believe, it's a power that could drive you. But when you have hopelessness, that's another power. I mean, unless if you've experienced hopelessness, nobody can understand without experiencing it. And the best way I could describe it is not being able to see a better tomorrow in no way possible at all. But that's the lie. If we stay there, that just becomes a lie. Now, I know I'm taking this to a more extreme level, but the reason why I'm bringing this up, Mohit, is to let you know you're not alone. You know that there's a lot of people out there feeling stuck, sitting on a sofa, sleeping in the weekday, because there's no drive to move forward. And it's beyond just finding, like your passion and what you like to do. but it's also some inner work as well because this whole thing that we do with this like development as far as like being able to develop skills, being able to develop a business, it also takes personal development as well. So I would suggest to put a focus on the personal development along with it. Like look at, getting to some books every single morning. Like, check it out. I'm going to show you right now. This is what I have to do. Let me wait. Let me close this. Let me show you my feed. I'm trying to get out of this. So, like in my feed, I always got stuff like this coming on. I got stuff like this right here, the feature coming on. You can always tell where you're at by what the algorithm is showing you. I got stuff like this coming on. This is me just going to my YouTube feed. These are the kind of things that I see every single morning. I'm listening to podcasts, I'm letting them play, while I'm getting ready. I'm listening to Stoic lessons. I'm having to do because if I don't do that work, I could slip right back, and that's what it takes. It it's beyond just learning the skills of building websites. You got to first, you know, eh, where yeah, there's so much right here. I mean, this really hits me, man. This really hits me in the heart right here. I say start first simple. Start simple. And look at the personal development, what you're consuming. And if you want, hit me up, man. Hit me up. I'll give you some suggestions like on what I do as far as my own personal spiritual practice. I'm not like some religious dude or anything, but I have to maintain my spirituality and stuff, because if I don't, I can get dark sometimes. So with that, okay, first personal development, work on that. But then the next part, if you feel like you're stuck at doing what you do, you got to figure out one thing and master it, dude. Master that one thing. Just get really good at one thing. And I think this is where a lot of people get stuck because you're trying to do too much. Get really good at one thing. If it's going to be web design, get really good at building mockups. Be able to find the really dopest mockups you can find and replicate it identically. If it's going to be development, master HTML and CSS. Be able to build a website with just HTML and CSS. Master one thing at a time, because if you master that one thing, you have value. You have value that makes you worth something. And as you do that, you're starting to build self-esteem. You start to build confidence. You get really good at that. When I was taught to master one thing at a time by my first mentor, I was bouncing all over the place. I had no idea where I wanted to go, what I wanted to do. I mean, I was just all over. I was in this land of like, just all these new things and I wanted to learn them all. But the first time I met my mentor, he laughed and said, "So you got to stop." He's like, "Just choose one." And I chose CSS. I just chose it right then and there. I decided and I stuck with it. I grinded. If there is one thing I did right in my career as a web creator, is I have followed this mastering one thing at a time down to the T. Like I will get obsessed and I will go all in and I'll get really good at it and then I'll move on. So I would say start there, but dude, the personal development. Take time, man. Love yourself, man. That's really, really important. You have to learn how to love yourself and know yourself and get that self-awareness. Hit me up, man. Hit me up. I'm very reachable for everybody out there. So hit me up, especially if anybody, if struggling like that. It's all good. You're not alone, man. That's the main thing. Yeah, Mira. Been there. I feel you. We're here, and that's the reason why we're doing this. This is the reason why I'm doing this. You know what? Just I'm gonna leave this really quick. Just one last thing. The reason why I started this whole journey right here was because COVID hit. COVID hit, and when it hit, everything locked down, and I saw the way everybody was reacting, and I saw it for what it was. People are losing hope, and the hopelessness became worldwide. It was crazy. It's a collective energy, and it spreads. Energy spreads, and that hopelessness hits. And that's when I started the Building Businesses with Elementor Facebook group as a way to give hope to web creators, to give hope to people who've never built a website before, who lost their job, who's stuck in their house and not allowed to leave, to give them something to move on. And I needed that. Like, I did that for others, but I also needed that, because if I just stayed there just building websites for clients, I could go to that dark place as well. So like that's how this whole thing started. So we're here doing this together. All right. So if anybody is feeling, just know you're not alone. Hit me up for sure. Hey everyone, I'm so glad to be here with you all. I think this is a good time to go ahead and end it. But check it out. Next week, we're going to do the breakdance. If you guys want to see it, let me know. All right. I kind of want to do it, man. I'm excited about it. I've been wanting to geek out on it. It's been my new toy that I haven't opened yet. I would love to open it with you guys. So I might have that come next week. But we're going to do this. We're going to hit the ground running. Expect a lot of big changes this year. And yeah, that's it. All right. I'm going to have to say goodbye. Thank you all for being here, and see you guys again next week.